Hello everyone and welcome to the final of my first Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament. I have shown you all of my matches at the time of recording this. I've only recorded one of them, but I'll upload this after my final one. This is the final round, and this is actually the final. Looking at the scores now, Pretzel and Castro go in the lead. No one else has as many wins as them. Pretzel's the only one undefeated so far. Castro's lost once. However, if Pretzel wins, they go undefeated win the tournament. If Castro wins, they tie with Pretzel, but the first tiebreaker, winning against tied opponents, would get Castro first place. So, the winner of this match wins the tournament. This is Pretzel's deck, a combination of Geargia with Volcanics, whereas Castro has decided to go for a lot of mons with high attack, your Berserk, Guerrilla, Spirit Dragon, and Lusher Dragon, and with some more cards in the main deck, being able to side into Gravekeepers. Those are their strategies. Real quickly, let's watch this final. I'm going to record it live. Go ahead. Good luck. I'm excited to see this. I asked them to let me know when they'll be playing because I really wanted to record this. One, because I wanted to record one live, I guess, but because it's the final round and this match is the decider, not just because one person might be the winner and the other one is not going to be because they've lost most of their matches. The winner of this wins the tournament. These are the only two that have a chance. Oh yeah, it's not a replay. I can't see their hands. Makes it actually exciting. I can't hover over it either. This is different from a replay. Makes it actually exciting. And also what I did say to them, although I don't expect it to come up much, is I could be like a judge, admin kind of person in this. Would something happen? Because although not often, some have seen some mistakes in replays of things that could or could not happen. Generally, I just let them know because, let's say it was an optional thing, it was just strange, and I asked them about it, but I've seen some, I suppose, illegal moves. Except for one, they weren't major, and they were accepted by both players, so I had to accept it because the match had already ended. But, yeah, now that I'm here live, I can correct someone if there's an issue. Let's see, Geargia Accelerator out, Fictitious, not yet with any monsters. Even though Pretzel did have a defense position monster, they could have gone with Spirit Dragon, although they might expect this to be Geargia Armor. Let's see, Goblin Marauding Spot does come out now. Just switch to defense position and then can't change its battle position until the end phase of your next turn. So in that sense, I'd say this one's worse than Spirit Dragon because it doesn't inflict piercing damage either. Although the opponent can't activate cards or effects, which Pretzel seems to have missed. I assume Fictitious will remember it because it's their own card. Otherwise, I will have to because this is an illegal play. Fictitious will probably tell them now. There we go. No need for me to do it. Sakurat's armor stays face down, and Fictitious now knows that Pretzel has that card face down. So that is an advantage for Fictitious, which is, by the way, that's Castro. But they use a different name in Dueling Book. Castro is the name they use in on Discord. Alright, let's see what Pretzel has for us. Ooh, lagging. That could be annoying. A bit of lag, good that they say it. But if they disconnect, Pretzel could just take that game 1 win. It is a match, but they could take the game 1 win if the opponent disconnects for any reason. Hope that doesn't happen. I don't think that's there's been a few very minor cases of lag throughout the tournament, I think, for some players, but there hasn't actually been a disconnection during a tournament match. Actually, when I played my round 5 match, the round 5 match itself didn't have lag. Wait, did I completely miss? Oh, I can't look at the log now, can I? That's annoying. In the replay, I can. Here I can't because I'm not a player. Maybe so I can't help people with if something comes up with like question, like you need to know the bottom monster in the graveyard. So I can't help with that, and it's not in the log when I look at the graveyard and stuff. So I have to deal with that in case something comes up. They might need to screenshot the logo. Oh, okay, it was the volcanic shell. That's why they didn't flip summon it. I was already wondering if that was Geargia armor, they would have done it. Also, because I was talking, I totally missed when the Dust Tornadoes were set. Probably while I was already talking, like at the start of it. And I assume they were legal activations, because I completely missed that, if they were illegal. I'm going to assume they were legal. Volcanic Shell activated by Pretzel gets another card to their hand, which they might be able to use later for Blaze Accelerator. They might just be able to use that as a defense position monster. And also, they empty the deck by one card, which gives them slightly higher chance of drawing what they want. Here comes the Blaze Accelerator. Accelerates effect, targets a monster the opponent controls. Oh, they're actually resolving it correctly, because previously they discarded as the cost as well, even though the discard is not the cost. Barrel monsters into the graveyard. Mirage Dragon goes out. Pretzel cannot declare an attack this turn. Should note that would it matter for some cards? Like, I can explain ruling considering this is live anyway, I can't speed it up. They can enter the battle phase, they just can't declare an attack. 500 life points lost for the activation of the second Volcanic Shell to get the third Volcanic Shell into the hand. Could they use it again? Yes, looks like it. Yep, they're just doing it again. Can't declare an attack this turn anyway, and this is not a once per turn. All the shells in the graveyard, 2 monsters gone. I think that was the... Otherwise, Goblin... Yeah, Goblin would have been able to switch back to attack position this turn, so this is probably good if Pretzel doesn't have any defenses. This just gets rid of the card completely. No extra monster for Fictitious, probably not even Spear Dragon to hit for some damage. Let's see what Pretzel will do, because they both don't seem to have a great hand. Fictitious is not any big monster like your Spear Dragon and Luster Dragon. Pretzel maybe has like a Volcanic Scatter Shot, but they don't want to play it. They might want to keep it in their hand. If they had any of their Geargias, they would have summoned them, I assume. Here comes Spear Dragon. 10% damage. It will switch to defense position. At the end of the damage step. So if there is any monster with any amount of attack power, Pretzel could take it out. However, with 2 sets on Fictitious side, something like this, Sacred's Armor, Compulsory Evacuation Vest could take it out. Fissure is played by Pretzel. Is that taken down? Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell, that is something that only Fictitious plays in the turn, but no one else does. To stop spell activation as a sort of a stronger magic jammer, although you have to discard spells, but Fictitious has enough spells to discard. They generally keep one in their hand if they have Curse Seal face down, which they did here with Fissure. Which means not only is Fissure negated and destroyed, Pretzel cannot activate any more Fissure throughout the entire duel, even if they already have more or draw more later on. Even if they get that one Fissure back from the graveyard, they're unable to even activate it due to the lingering effect from Curse Seal of the Forbidden Spell. Now, the advantage Spear Dragon has compared to most of the Goblin cards, like your Goblin Attack Force, Goblin Elite Attack Force, Goblin Marauding Force, the one that was Fictitious used earlier. Spear Dragon can switch to attack position again during the next turn. Most of the high attack Goblin monsters have to wait until the turn after that. I think Goblin Elite Attack Force can switch next turn, but Marauding Force, or whatever it was called, the one that's used in this duel, and Goblin Attack Force do need to wait another turn. Now, unfortunately, Fictitious is lagging, so I might, if this becomes a big thing, cut some things out from this recording. But otherwise, I'm going to stay with it the entire time. They are able to start their turn. Let's see what they do. Probably switch Spear Dragon to attack position again and attack. Is there another monster? Nope. It's battle phase. Spear Dragon attacks. Another 1900 damage, so things are looking pretty good for Fictitious. However, wait, yeah, Sakuretsu armor is still face down. They didn't play it earlier because of Mirage Dragon. So Pretzel must have like a Smashing Ground maybe in their hand? But if they had, why wouldn't they have played it last turn? I'm pretty sure Smashing Ground works even if the only opposing monster has 0 defense. Because that's still the highest defense. Even though it's 0, there actually is a defense stat. I really hope there won't be a disconnection. That would really suck. To have it happen in the final. Ouch! And the disconnection does happen. Now, I did explain this, I think, I clarified it in round one to the players after someone asked about it. That in this scenario, because of disconnection, Pretzel is allowed to say, "I'm going to take the game one win." At this point, there's no very clear winner with public information. Both players could have still won. I'd say Fictitious had the advantage, but there is no certainty that they would have won with this board. So Pretzel is allowed to say, "I'm going to take game one," in which case they would restart a match, same decks, restart a full match. Fictitious would admit defeat in game one, so they do go into siding. That wouldn't count as the second loss for Fictitious, just as the first loss, and then they do go into siding because that would normally be allowed after game one. Pretzel is also allowed to say, "I'm going to be nice. We're just going to restart from the beginning." That's a nice sportsmanship thing. However, I would understand as well if Pretzel takes this win. I'm not sure what I would have done this version. I think I would have taken the win, to be honest. Because if I can take it to get victory and it's legal within the rules, I generally do it. So let's see what Pretzel does. I'm not even sure if the match will continue today or tomorrow due to the lag in the disconnects, but you'll see in the next part of the video. We are back into the match. Pretzel has decided to leave it as not a win. They're going to restart from scratch because it was game one. Pretzel apparently says they'll leave it up to the opponents if what they decide. Fictitious just wanted apparently to restart it. They're allowed to start because I don't need to do much of an intro because I've already done that. And even though this is starting from the beginning, I do want to show what has already happened. That game was an advantage to Fictitious, an advantage to Castro. Let's see if it'll play out the same. What this could mean, like Pretzel could have taken this as a 1-0 lead, and what this could mean if Fictitious now has two great starting hands and is able to push that advantage to the end, or at least with one of them, that this could have cost Pretzel the game. However, Pretzel didn't seem to have that great of a hand either. So here's Geargia Arsenal, special summons of Geargia. That's probably going to be Geargia Armor, which they can then, with its effect, set in defense position, which not only is a nice defense position monster with 1900 defense, but it's also just that. In hindsight, like a rule that we have in the tournament, well, something that people can do, but it has to be before 24 hours before the start of the tournament. People can give suggestions to me for addition to the Forbidden Limited list. After this tournament, I see that the Geargia engine is a very consistent engine. And I'd say that Geargia Armor is the biggest part of that because one, it's defense, two, it's searching power. So in hindsight, maybe Geargia Armor might have been a semi-limited card. I don't feel it's overpowered. It is very strong, but I don't feel it's really overpowered in this tournament. So then maybe it would have been semi-limited, maybe not. But there's nothing that's too overpowering. This is just a strong engine. But it's not too overpowering. And like if you take I think the pack Soul Fusion, most of the Thunder Dragon archetype is in there and their support. If I decide to go with Soul Fusion at some point, I am limiting, semi-limiting whatever some of the Thunder Dragons more than because we use the TCG from the limited list as a base. Wait, why didn't they attack with armor? Maybe because they wanted to be sure that they weren't hit by another Sakuretsu. And they wanted to be able to still defend themselves and search. Makes sense. But yeah, we use the TCG from the limited list as a base. But we are allowed, well, I am allowed to add things onto that. I am allowed, hey, I made the rules. If I feel that in the format a certain thing is, like, strategy is too strong. I decide when I chose, because I choose the sets, the main sets, the starter decks and stuff that I use in each tournament. For the first one, I definitely try to find decks or sets that on their own wouldn't be too overpowering. I saw that in the later sets, I definitely wanted something from the Xyz era or later. One of them, which became Return of the Duelist, which the Geargias were in. I knew that they would work together and that some of the main engines would quite probably come from that set, and three of the 6 participants did decide on that, all with the Geargia engine, sometimes with a bit of Volcanic, sometimes with a bit of something else, with Geargia as the main engine. But that's just probably going to happen anyway, because archetypes, I think, as GX is sort of started, and then 5Ds and later, archetypes became stronger, better combined and stuff. Like a lot of earlier archetypes from things like the GX era got support later to bring them up to speed with what then was the norm in Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, Berserker Gorilla comes in. It's a nice card, which I didn't really think about using too much because I really was so focused on the Chaos thing in my deck. But Berserker Gorilla is a really nice 2000 attack monster, and I think the only, besides just the manual battle position switch, I think the only card effect that could switch Berserker Gorilla into defensive position is the Trap Zero Gravity. And no one decided to go with that. I very quickly thought about it as a defensive card, but I didn't think it would be useful enough. There were things like Magic Cylinder, Sakuretsu Armor, Compulsory Evacuation Device in terms of traps, other destruction things like Fissure and Tribute to the Doom, Smashing Ground. So much destruction monster removal that I didn't think Zero Gravity was worth it. Here comes Gigant X. Does get rid of like the searching in armor and the defensive things. Well, actually, there was no armor. What am I talking about? There was a normal summon of Accelerator and special summon of Accelerator. Armor was already gone. See, sometimes I'm talking and then, yeah, not a lot. I don't make sense. I forget what's happening. I should commentate on like what's actually happening, but I guess I'm taking this time to say more about the tournament and my experiences with it, because there is a bit more waiting time, and I don't have to say what I think about what moves might work out. Ooh, Fictitious again says there's lag. I really hope they don't disconnect, and if it happens, what will Pretzel do? What will Pretzel do? Let's just hope it doesn't happen. There's a set monster on Fictitious' side, which probably is going to get taken down. Might be like a Lesser Dragon. A search first. Let's see what Pretzel will go for. I'm pretty sure I lost the Pretzel. Was I the one that beat Fictitious? I don't know. I think... No, I wait Sluggy Wolfie. And Russian Man. So I lost against Fictitious. Magician of Faith. Ooh, adding a spell back to the hand. My body as a shield is able to protect them from things like Sakuretsu, Fissure, Smashing Guard. I think it was Curse Shield was used again on Fissure, I want to say, like 1 or 2 turns ago. But now if Pretzel has something like Sakuretsu, then Fictitious can save themselves. That's probably a nice move with Magician of Faith, getting back the discarded card from Curse Seal. They mostly have big attack precision monsters, but they also have Magician of Faith. Pretty old card, Magician of Faith. Must have been in Invasion of Chaos. Another set card. They can choose their positions, because that's always been a thing. But they seem to be very much going towards that left for them, the right. For us, the left side of the board. Maybe to distract Pretzel from the fact that there's a set card right over here on the other end of the field. That might be an option, to make Pretzel only look to the left when there's something important on the right. Might be something that is being tried. Ooh, Ryza. Placing the set monster on top of the deck. Which means not only is there a direct attack possible by Pretzel with 3 monsters, assuming the face down spell or trap can't stop it, and Fictitious doesn't get a new card next draw, they get the old one, which will likely just set again, but then Pretzel will have had some direct attacks. I can't quite see if that went to the top of the deck or not. I'm going to assume the Pretzel checked and saw the animation well. They can always check in the log now, which is good. Ryza with the first direct attack. Gigant X for another 2300, taking him down to 3, assuming there's no Sakuretsu or anything like that. Well, I would have assumed Ryza to be taken down and not Gear. Oh. I don't think they're thinking. It seems like a very strange moment to do it now. Please don't disconnect. They do take them at 23 and then 1100. 1900 left. Ryza or Gigant X could both finish it off with just 1 more direct attack. And even if Fictitious can somehow get rid of the cards, get rid of Ryza, get rid of Gigant, there's still the searching from Geargia Armor, there's still 2 set cards that could do something, and there's 4 cards in the hand. Fictitious decides to admit defeat here. Hope they look at watch chat. They should know to take sighting screenshots. Like I'm in the match, but I can't see their sighting because if I could see, let's say, because I'm watching from Pretzel's perspective because they're the host of the duel. If I could see the cards in their hand, I could private message Fictitious with that information and help them out. If I could see the side deck from Pretzel, then I could help Fictitious out. I could literally look at what Fictitious has and Pretzel. This is Pretzel's deck. Now I wonder, did Fictitious side in their Gravekeeper stuff? They have done it a few times, I know, at least twice. I think against me they did as well. The Goblin Marauding Squad as a star. Fictitious does go first. Let's see, Pretzel. A set card. Also, something I think I do, because I say now that this is my first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. This is my first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament on Dueling Book, and the first Yu-Gi-Oh tournament in a few years. I think I hosted 2 tournaments back in the Dueling Network days, well before it was closed down. And then I think what I did was with the deck that the winning player used, I did at least one duel video with that. So whoever wins in this match, I will take their deck, so either the Geargia-Volcanic deck or the high attack monsters deck, and take it for a spin. But considering we're very limited in card pool, I'm going to try and find someone in regular TCG to have a match against, or at least a one duel against, because personally I don't like matches too much. I just like single duels. Although if you have a nice side deck, if you know sort of the meta better and how to respond to things, you have a proper side deck built, then I guess matches. And I'm slowly getting back into it. I'm learning a lot more about the cards as I go along in single, and occasionally in match duels, because I played sometimes in tournaments. Learned a lot about cards. Yeah, Goblin Marauding Card should go to defense position because it was the end of the battle phase. That was forgotten. I'd say it's a smart play from Fictitious to use Fissure on armor to stop that one, just to get rid of it from the field. And in addition to that, it stops the searching effect as well, which is, as I explained earlier, a very consistent way of getting monsters in the hand. Lag in my brain too now. Sakuretsu is out. Looking good for Pretzel. 0 defense monster, 1 set. If Pretzel has a nice monster, I think they at least have Geargia Arsenal. Pretzel might have tried monsters. Brain Control. They're going for the direct attack. Can they Xyz after this? Goblin Marauding is not a machine. There's no there's no generic rank for Xyz that requires any just any materials. There's no generic. There are Gigant X, which need machines. There's Alverdich, which needs 2 earths. Although, wait, no, yeah. He can Xyz Alverdich because it's an earth. They can use it. I was already thinking, wait, they can't actually get into like Excalibur or Gigant X, but as I was saying things, I remember, oh yeah, Alverdich is a thing. And that's something you can do in my Brain Control. I don't think I had any Brain Control, maybe 1 in the side deck, in my personal deck, but if you already have Earth monsters like the Gigias, like the Medolces, then you can already summon Alverdich. Like, I have it in my side deck, but I can't summon it, because I don't have Earths. But then you can use, let's say, the Goblin Marauding Sword for Alverdich. You could use the opponent's Chronometer Golden Jet or Geargia Accelerator or whatever to make Alverdich to make Gigant X. So that's a very good place. Yeah, not Alverdich for Golden Jet because that was a light monster. We figured that out in my round 1 match, which I actually recorded not too long before this. So I remember that pretty well. Nice move for Pretzel. Like in hindsight, my Tournament 1 retrospective video, which I'll probably record after I've uploaded this one, or maybe I think I'll record it maybe 1 or 2 days after I record this one and just upload it later, just like I'll do with this video. It'll probably be a few days after I record it, when I upload it. But that way I have a better idea of, I have a better memory of everything that happened in the tournament. when I record that retrospective, and I'll think about like what strategies worked out, what I would have done, and in hindsight, I now know what decks a lot of people use. However, the thing is, let's say a lot of people would have used, let's say, Volcanics, Chronomalies, Medolces, and not the Geargias. Then we maybe wouldn't have known how good Geargia really is. Maybe one person would have done it, and they might have done really well, but then it wouldn't be too clear that it's the Geargias. Now that I've seen 3 people run the Geargia engine, I've seen in many replays throughout these 5 rounds in the tournament that it's very effective. And maybe if it was just one person, it wouldn't have been. Like I'm one of the 2 players that used Chaos as an engine, which is very strong with BLS, but it's not consistent enough. It's definitely not consistent enough, and especially with things like Compulsory Evacuation Device and Suckeretsu Armor just out there. Also, Fissure, Smashing Ground. BLS can just be sent back to the hand or destroyed pretty easily. So then you definitely need My Body as a shield or something like that to save yourself for Dust Tornado. I definitely ran 3 Dust Tornadoes because I feared Necro Valley as a side deck card, and multiple people had Necro Valley as a side deck card. Like as I said with Fictitious, they even had just a Gravekeeper engine as side deck stuff. Pretzel looking good. They already have the 1-0 lead. What can Fictitious do with their final 3 cards against the force that the Pretzel has shown? There is a Gravekeeper there, but it's just a Spear Soldier defending the life points. This isn't looking good for them. That's 1100 from Geargia Armor, 1900 from Geargia Arsenal because there's 2 Geargias on the field. Remember, Geargia Guns X is not a Geargia. There's 1000 life points left. No Gaga Cowboy in this set. I think that came in the set that's after Return of the Duelist. Pretzel has a very good advantage in this game. There's no like Dark Hole or Raigeki. There needs to be a Miracle Draw, but is there anything Fictitious can do at this point? There is not. Fictitious admits defeat. Didn't really have the greatest of hands, and the consistency of the Geargias is shown once again. Pretzel wins the tournament. Pretzel will win their 5th out of 5 matches, will go undefeated, and it is this deck that you'll be seeing back in a video very soon. And I'll be seeing what I can do showing off with these cards. Something tells me they didn't take a sighting screenshot. If Pretzel didn't take a sighting screenshot, and Fictitious would have already left the duel, then the match would have had to be redone. Because then I can't verify that they use the same deck. So far, everything I've seen in the duel, I believe, is all shown here. But I need to make sure the exact same cards were used everywhere. So because they said it, Pretzel asked this, like, it's possible that you forget a sighting screenshot. And then what I did explain in the rules document, if Pretzel says something like this, I forgot it, could we do a rematch? The rematch itself won't count for the result, but Fictitious does have to accept the rematch now to allow Pretzel to use a sighting screenshot. Would Fictitious not accept this? Like, the Fictitious just admits defeat just so they can immediately go into the signing screenshot. There's no... Oh, they just leave. Well, in that case, Pretzel just wins without the signing screenshot. Because otherwise, Fictitious would have... Maybe Fictitious doesn't realize this. They think they need to redo the entire match. They would have just needed to rematch. Fictitious immediately admits defeat. Pretzel takes a signing screenshot. That's all that was needed. But yeah, that's the win, and because Fictitious didn't allow Pretzel to take that screenshot, and Pretzel did ask about it, that's Pretzel's win. So Pretzel, very much congratulations on winning my very first Pleiades tournament. I hope to see you back in the next one. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed all these tournament videos. Look forward to the retrospective video coming soon. And then use the link in the description to join my Discord server, my Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament server, and I hope to see you in a tournament very soon. I've decided on most sets for the next tournament already, and it'll be a very different card pool, and it'll be very exciting. See you then. Goodbye.